And we're here. We're live, right, Robbie?
Yep, we're here.
And this is episode
19.
19. One more to go to 20. Maybe we'll do some rebranding when we get to 20 because I feel like we've gotten the show to the right spot. I don't mean rebranding, like just, like maybe updating the drop logo or something like that.
Maybe get rid of the two main guys on the show.
Yeah, like lose these guys. Well, you can see I already lost his beard. So,
oh yeah, that's like half of my being.
That's half your weight.
That's all my power. That's how I lose all my power.
Yeah, it's
obviously
true. It is true. Like seeing Robbie around the office without his beard, it's like time traveling. I felt like a younger man is now here.
It's like a child slave labor now working here.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's awesome.
So anyways, welcome to the drop, and we got a couple cool things this week.
What's your name?
I'm Robbie.
I'm T.
Sorry.
You can go from there.
Robbie from Believe in the Run and T from Believe in the Run. So we're a little hungover from Halloween candy, I think.
Yeah, little sugar crash.
Yeah, I took my kids trick or treating around the neighborhood. Stopped at this guy's house. He hooked us
nice.
up.
We had a dinosaur and a hot dog stop by.
Those are my kids.
Yeah, and then Dad here was the Newman from Jurassic Park, while his lovely wife Kimmy was Team Mustard.
Yeah, so I don't know. It kind of worked because one of my kids was Dinosaur and I was Newman, except I tried to bulk up by eating like 10 pounds of candy and gained about 0 pounds of weight. So
yeah. What's your favorite candy?
Reese's, whatever.
I gotta go Reese's too. I would go Reese's.
I think it's a big hit. That's what a lot of the candy bowls were last year.
Yeah, I didn't know, but they had the one that's a pumpkin that has the orange chocolate around it.
I just had it like literally 2 minutes ago.
I was disappointed by it. I kind of got to stick with chocolate.
Yeah. But anyways, so luckily I only had like 4 drinks around the neighborhood. Yeah. So I'm not like still feeling good today.
I didn't imbibe that much.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so we got a pretty good show today. We got
no Jared.
We know Jarrett. I don't even know where he is.
Jared is on his way to Florida to watch his nephew lose part of his lower body.
Oh, okay. That sounds like in a magic show. One of those. Yes.
Yeah.
The old Jewish tradition.
I don't know why it's a spectator sport, but it is.
Yeah, it's like why do we have a party for this again?
Yeah.
Anyways, so
because they don't have Christmas.
That's why they need to make up with like 10 other weird holidays. So there's we had a New Balance 1080 v10 today.
Yeah.
Which is like pretty big favorite among a lot of people.
It's strange. Like I'll get into it when we pull the shoe out, but it's not like I wasn't when we got our list of shoes to review. Mm-hmm. Wasn't one I was excited about, but I've reviewed the other one, so I was like, I'll review it again. Blah blah.
Yeah, like kind of the same.
Yeah,
whatever.
like and I've been surprised. I love it. It's now November. Happy November, bunny, rabbit to all.
Oh yeah, that's today.
November
1st.
November 1st. So we won't be getting a lot more daily trainers or anything in for the rest of the year. I mean, we'll probably get a couple sneaking under the ropes, but it'll probably be releases that happen in 2020.
Right.
So this shoe will be released this year. It is killer. It is awesome. So I'm going to bump it right to the top of my daily trainer picks for
grab it
for the thing. Yeah. So here it is. We're going to be putting out the review shortly, right?
Monday morning.
Monday morning?
Okay.
It'll
be there.
And
we have 4 reviewers on it, by the way. It's stacked.
It is. It's stacked. But not only is it 4 reviewers, these are people that actually run and I would say have put miles in on the shoe. Like I've got several short runs and a 14-miler on this. Tomorrow I have a 20-mile run. I will probably have this on my feet. I was debating if I wanted to go with something fun and fast that we'll be showing you in here in a second. But I think just for protecting the legs and the whole thing for the 20 miles, I will be going with this guy. And it is a phenomenal shoe. It's a phenomenal update. Mostly because if you look back, show you here, this is the version 8. I mean, Robbie, feel the midsole.
Yeah, it's firm.
Like this one you can dig your thumbs into. It's got some softness. And this is even more, and look at this. What? V9, V8,
8, 9,
10. This one was kind of a clunky tank. Even look, the heel counter here is overbuilt, puffy tongue, really hard. If you look at it toe down, look how like show that side, because like if you look at it, it's just wide. It was just a behemoth. I didn't love it. So when they came out with the version 9, I was psyched because the foam felt a little softer, and I was like, this is great. Again, full rubber coverage on the bottom, which makes the shoe a little heavier. But the upper didn't fit me well. I felt like it was a half size too big. And I'm not sure if that's because the upper just wasn't set up correctly. But the heel counter gave me heel lift. I had lots of room in the toe too much. It just felt like a clunky daily trainer. This guy, all the things are smoothed out, so it actually works out really, really well. I'll show you. They went with an engineered mesh in the front, and I'm not even a big fan of engineered mesh uppers.
Yeah, I know.
And this one I like, but like look at the stretch. So people with wide feet and stuff. I mean,
wow.
you can see the flexibility in the toe too. Toe off was nice in this for having this much stack. This has a lot of flexibility in it. The foam, fresh foam, is lighter and more responsive than in the version.
I mean, you can just feel like, I mean, think the weight difference is crazy from this to 10. This is
almost 2 ounces lighter than the 8. It's about an ounce lighter than the 9. But the foam itself feels more airy underfoot. It bounces, gets a little more energy return than this one. So, I mean, I'll be doing a video review. Luckily, we have Rachel here. And by the way, she'll be answering questions today instead of Megan.
So if you got any of those, throw them out.
Yeah, throw out the questions to Rachel. They took down the rubber on it. Not as much rubber on the outsole. So, I mean, overall, this is just a great shoe. My little complaints about it are mostly aesthetic.
So let me know. Well, you'll probably go into that.
Yeah,
I was going to ask about the Keebler Elfier thing.
Yeah, that's you could shave that down. You don't need it.
Everyone sees that and is like, what the?
Well, it's overblown. It's not necessary. Like the heel counter stops right here.
Right.
You could probably take off that lip. Maybe when Jarrett's down there in Florida with his nephew, they could do the same thing to this. Just take a little bit off the top.
That extra.
This part you don't need. And puppy tongue. And I wasn't a huge fan of this. It's kind of gotten like an organic veiny thing going on. And wow, we're really sticking to a theme here, aren't we? And not a huge fan of that.
Long story short, New Balance circumcise your shoes.
Yeah, let's clean this baby up. But I have a feeling if they do those minor updates to the 11, I mean, 11's going to be a killer shoe. This one is great. I mean, as is. Look, they're cosmetic changes. The tongue's a little puffy, sticks up a little high. The back counter's a little nutty. And, the veininess to it is a little weird. But it's a freaking phenomenal shoe.
Yeah.
Rachel, you have a question?
Yeah, Brenda Logan wants to know if you like it better than the Clifton 6.
I do.
Interesting. Really?
I do.
Wow.
I'd say it has...
You love the Clifton 6.
In the written review, you're going to see I talk about it, but it says this has the cushion feel of a Clifton 6 with a little more bounce underfoot. So when I was doing that 14-mile run, it was just supposed to be a low and slow, easy-paced run. And I went out and we happened to run into Ben Adams.
Yeah.
And he was running with another dude, and Megan was with me. The pace started going a little nuts, and next thing I knew, we were running quick for me, which for a day when I'm supposed to go out easy, I want to be anywhere from 8:30 to 9-minute miles for a long, slow run. And this one we finished up with an average of 8:14, and my feet felt great. And the turnover for a big shoe like this was smooth, and so it didn't really cause a problem. And even with that was those guys' slow pace. Like they were running.
Right.
Ben's like a 6-minute miler, dude. Megan's, when she's running, she's like high 6s, and so for them that was an easy run, and it was me just trying to like
a tempo
keep up with it. Yeah, it was a tempo run, keeping up with the fast guys. But I really liked it, and you can see it kind of has a little lower stack height in the front than the Clifton, I'd say, but overall has that same cushion feel, but it has a little bit of bounce. The fresh foam has a nice hop to it in this version.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we have a bunch of other New Balance shoes coming in, so that's exciting. We had the Hierro V5, which is this sick-looking trail shoe.
What is Hierro? Is that a trail someplace or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Rachel's got another question. What's up?
Yeah, we got 2 questions and a comment from Jarrett. Jarrett says that he wants the shoe pre-circumcised.
Okay.
Keith Verification
You would.
Yeah.
says...
He likes it wide, too.
Zach Girth, right?
Yeah.
Keith Verification wants to know if you have any inside info when it will be dropping at Running Warehouse, more specifically than December 2019.
We don't have more specifically, but that's the specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even we get our straight from New Balance, and even then we're not completely sure.
Yeah, like with these, I don't know why they can't give a definite date, because they got to be there they're in the warehouse, I would have guessed.
Yeah.
And then I think Cave Lachata says, "Is this the same mesh that's on the Vongo?"
I didn't get the Vongo.
I can't remember because Jared had the Vongo.
Jared would probably be able to.
I don't think it's.
It's the same. This is really. I mean, this is super. I'm trying to show you. Super flexible.
99% positive it's not the same.
As flexible as it is, it holds your foot in, so that was great. Up in the toes, it gave me plenty of room around the toes and the side. And then it comes in here with a heavier stitch and some embroidery that kind of gives that lateral and medial support. But the shoe fits great. Cosmetically, if you don't like the ball sack back, but
he definitely picked it up.
But yeah.
The coral look?
Yeah, the coral.
There you go.
Coral. Yeah. And I saw we have a PDF that has all the different colorways on this.
This
is a tough one to put colors on.
Yeah.
Did you see a color that you liked?
It's not so much.
Yeah. I mean, I at first I was like another pair of black ones.
Dude,
but I saw the other colors.
Whenever I see this shoe, I think of the movie Waiting. Do you remember that movie?
Waiting?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
I don't think I saw it.
It was a crappy movie from the early 2000s.
Okay, what's he waiting for?
But they have they pull these stupid juvenile pranks where they make each other they make a dude look at your.
Oh, okay,
dog.
yeah.
And so the one prank they do, it's the one dude's like, "It's so veiny." So that's
Okay.
I can't. Every time I see the shoe, I think it, and I'm like,
yeah.
And then you repeating that.
I mean, am I wrong though? And do you think that design aesthetic on this shoe looks a little?
I mean, I like the effort.
Yeah.
I don't know that I love
Well, I
it.
think you gotta set yourself apart these days.
Yeah, I think some people like it, but the Hierro, which check out our Instagram. I mean, that's a fire looking shoe.
That is a great looking shoe. As a matter of fact, that'd be fun if they did something like that.
Yeah, I think so we posted a yellow colorway on the Instagram of that shoe, but all the colorways look awesome.
Dope.
For it.
I have to look at the PDF. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, look at the spec sheet. But
Yeah.
that comes out this month. So.
What I'm interested in that, and I almost wish that you got it, because we have Taylor Bowden and who else was
I know.
in that? Because you ran the Nike Peg Turbo.
Yeah,
the Nike
Kiger.
I feel like it has that aesthetic, and I'm like, which one's better?
Yeah, or is it a good running shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that it has Victor Mega Grip outsole on it, so that's always nice for gripping, but I guess we'll find out if it's good for running.
Yeah.
And then there's
is it heavier than the Kiger?
I'm not sure. I can't. It is actually heavier. But we're getting a new shoe from New Balance called the Fresh Foam Tempo.
And I think the Max one,
which is
the other one.
The Tempo is replacing the Zante Pursuit.
Am I getting that one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I
I love my second fastest marathon was in the Zante.
Yeah.
So that shoe holds a special. That's I like special shoes. Kimbara, the Zante. I'm trying to think of another one. I mean, I always love the Pegasus.
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned the weight on this one, did I?
I mean, you said it was almost 2 ounces lighter.
It weighs 10.16 or 288 grams. 10.16 ounces or 288 grams for a size 10.5 with an 8 millimeter drop.
So that's a pretty light.
Yeah, this shoe's gonna work for a ton of people.
Yeah,
ton of people.
Okay. Any other questions right now, Rachel? All right. Cool. So let's do.
You want to see this?
Yeah, we have one more.
Just kidding. We just got one.
Oh, Rachel Adams.
Jay Weingart said Propel versus V10.
Oh, I mean, Propel's a lighter, faster shoe, but that foam that you're gonna feel. Oh wait, the Propel, yeah.
I think Rebel.
I was thinking Rebel. I didn't wear the Propel. That one we gave to Dave Ames to review.
Yeah. So
I'd be curious, but I feel like this one's gonna be more versatile than that one.
Yeah, I think you're right. From everything I've heard. But
yeah.
I think if you want something maybe a little bit faster maybe go with the Propel. But yeah.
I think for a daily trainer, for like easy miles and logging your miles and having a shoe that takes care of you and is durable and feels good, I'd probably go 1080 just on spec since I haven't run the Propel. But that is a good question. Unfortunately, I don't think we have anybody who reviewed the Propel reviewing
The 1080.
the 1080.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
yeah.
so then we got this shoe.
What? You know what this is? It's kind of confusing.
I'm gonna let you see if you can remember it.
Okay, it is the Skechers GOrun Go Meb Speed 6 Hyper.
Close.
I added the GOrun and I didn't need it.
You
right?
didn't need to see. It's the Skechers Go Meb, just Go Meb, not Go Run.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I knew as soon as I said that was
That's
too
all
much, but it's too much anyway. Hey guys over at Skechers, come on, let's get this down. We call this something, a one name thing.
Just
But-
the Meb 6. They're done.
Speedy Meb.
Speedy
Yeah,
Meb.
yeah. Something like that. Because there's also, which is oddly enough on the tongue, the Speed Elite, which this is nothing like. I don't even know why they have Speed Elite on the tongue when this is a different shoe.
We were a little confused when we got it because
Maybe they had extra Speed Elite tongues laying around. They're
I
like,
don't know.
throw that in the Speed 6.
Yeah.
But what is great about this shoe is that originally I was a half size short and it was hurting my foot. And even when it was hurting my foot, I loved running in it.
Mm-hmm.
So Skechers got back to me, sent me a half size up. The shoe is still like in the 6s for weight, for ounces.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's in the 100-something grams.
For a size 10.5 or
This is a size 11.
size 11. Yeah.
So it's super duper light. It's got that Hyperburst midsole, which is insane, really great. It's got some form of plate in here, downside. I believe that is a Pebax plate.
I can't remember.
Yeah, from the thing, it's Pebax. Goodyear outsole. The interesting thing about this shoe is people are like, well, what about this versus the Speed Elite? So actually, John Schrupp, who is a rep for Skechers, who's in the Believe in the Run group on Facebook, if you want to join that, I highly recommend it because
It's a more laid back, chill vibe.
yeah, and you can talk about more than just shoes if you want.
Yeah.
There's,
In fact, we encourage it.
yeah, like if you just want to bitch about your wife or something or your husband, come on in. You can do that there too and get advice
do
from
it.
people who love running shoes. But yeah, he gives a good reason why this is a totally different shoe than the Speed Elite and what you need. This one, I feel like this is probably a more versatile shoe that you can use for more of your training than the Speed Elite. I mean, it's so light and airy to run on.
I mean, the
this
uppers,
cushioning.
like you can literally see through the upper
Yeah,
from one end to the other.
It really reminds me of a shoe that will always have a special place in my heart is the Nike Streak 6. This has that feel. Like it feels like that.
But more cushion.
Slightly more cushion.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they both have that. It's just one of those shoes you put on and it feels like you got feathers on your feet and you don't even really notice the shoe and you can get into a really great rhythm.
And then would this be more of a race day shoe than Speed Elite? At least the Speed Elite that we've tried so far.
I think for me it would be.
Yeah.
Like the Speed Elite that I tried and this, I actually prefer this shoe.
Which, by the way, we've tried early versions of Speed Elite.
Yeah,
Not
the plate's
finished-
going to be different.
Finished version is still being developed.
Yeah. So it's this one though. I if you get the right size on your feet, it's a rocket. I was thinking about doing my 20 miles and tomorrow just because it's so light and feathery and feels good underfoot, but I just think I want a little more push for the legs. But next week I'll throw this on. Whatever I do, I'll do some speed on Wednesday. This guy will be on my feet. I'll probably do it for my easy run too, just to break them in.
And I gotta say, it looks pretty. Like it's a cool looking shoe.
Yeah,
I like it.
No, Skechers is really up their game.
The
with
performance
the shoe. Yeah.
division is really throwing out some nice designs.
Yeah, the upper's a lot. If you're familiar with the Vaporfly Next Percent with the Vapor Weave, the upper is a lot like the Vapor Weave stuff. So it's airy, it's gossamer, like
a spider web.
yeah, it is like a spider web, but nice, really simple. Like the tongue is basically paper thin, and then nice cozy little heel cup.
Cool. I like it.
Fun shoe. Go get it. This one's out already. You can grab this one now.
Yeah, that came out like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, what are you doing watching this? You can go get it right now.
And also click on the Running Warehouse link in our description so we get that affiliate
Yeah,
change.
that's how we get helped.
Yeah. That's how we even can do this show, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so that's kind of it for the shoes this week. Next week's going to be a crazy review week. We got a lot of shoes that are going to be reviewed in the next few weeks. Hoka Speedgoat 4 review.
Triumph is out, right?
The Triumph. Oh yeah.
The Triumph
So actually, this week that was one of the reviews that actually went up was the Saucony Triumph 17, which it kind of skipped around because they went
confusing.
They went to Saucony ISO 4 or 5, and then they gave up on the ISO, thankfully.
Yeah.
And went to ISO and went to this now 17. Went back to the original numbering.
But I think the 5 is included in that number.
Yeah, it's like a side road, and then came back.
We stopped at 12, went back to 5, now we're 17.
So it's like, but what Adrian really liked about that shoe, it's a comfy shoe. I mean, I did the ISO 4 a couple years ago, and I actually hated the shoe. I just thought it was super bottom heavy. And, it was like a couch.
Clunky.
It's still kind of like a couch,
Yeah.
but I think they made it a lot. It's definitely a lot lighter than it was before. But anyways, if you like the Triumph before and want to get some more thoughts, check out the review on our site.
And Adrian's awesome. I really like her style of the reviews. And,
she does a good job.
And two,
she runs a ton.
She's also a sports psychologist, so if
she's working on this mind here.
She's worked on this head. But yeah, if you have any, she should be in the Believe in the Run group. But
she is.
Yeah, you can probably, if you have head questions about race day anxiety or that kind of stuff, shoot them over to the group, and maybe it'll turn into a post with Adrian.
Maybe just comment on the group, and she'll charge you $100 an hour, and we'll invoice you through Facebook Messenger. So you're welcome, Adrian.
We got a couple questions.
Sure.
From Forrest Gumpney. Triumph 17 versus New Balance 1080 V10.
I'm going to go with New Balance on that one.
Definitely.
I talked to Adrian about it, and we were going back and forth. She liked, I believe that the Triumph midsole with the Power Run Plus or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, that's the new
Boost
midsole.
Light. Yeah, she really likes the way that it gives you the cushion and the bounce off. I have a feeling the 1080 is similar. Now the nice thing is Adrian's reviewing both, so she can give you a detailed reason of which one she likes better. Just on stats, there's just so much into the upper of the Triumph. It's got that really thick collar. It's got the the couch-like build.
It really is.
And I don't love that, so I would probably go with the 1080. Over it, I like a leaner, meaner upper, and you take out the foam for me.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think we are going to get Saucony carbon fiber plate shoe next year?
Yes, it's actually talked about already.
It's talked about, it's confirmed, and it's... So, did you watch
Are we already getting it shipped? Are we already on the list for it?
Not yet. I mean...
Okay.
It's
Jared Ward.
Did you watch that video?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I got to the part, and we're going to get into this later because, this is nuts to me, the whole debate over these shoes. But Jared Ward is running them in New York. He says the final prototype, so they're going to roll out, and he said
spring 2020.
Early 2020. So if you don't like Nike or want to try something else, there's going to be an option out there.
The fact is that people are trying to catch up on the carbon front. So obviously, Hoka had a couple carbon shoes this year, and Saucony, Brooks. So they've been in development for the last year or so. Yes.
I mean, they've been in development ever since somebody saw Breaking 2.
Right.
The first one.
So it's coming out. They're coming out. All those carbon plate shoes from everyone is going to.
And we'll get into that because I think we want to discuss with everybody and get your opinions too on sort of this backlash against the shoes. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you. Rachel's going to ask you a question.
Jay Weingart wants to know. Hypervolt review, does it work for runners, the Hypervolt massager?
Oh, wait.
Is that one of those ones?
Oh, I don't think have we reviewed that?
I don't think we've gotten it.
We haven't actually reviewed it.
I'm going to say that. It's going to be like that time I was like, I've never worn the Rincon.
Yeah, we haven't actually, or I haven't, so I don't know.
I haven't. Is that, Jay, is that one of those jigsaw
It is one of those
ones? Yeah, we haven't done those. People seem to like them. And anything that makes you feel good, I say do it, even if it hurts like foam rolling and then makes you feel good, I say do it. Anything that I could be like, hey, Megan, could you get my back with this thing? That's awesome, because then I get a massage and it's all in the...
Or you could just pay your kids like $5 in a lounge, just like punch you as hard as they can, and then you don't have to buy a...
Go to a ball pit, a ball pit in a museum.
Right.
That thing. All right. So what's on our reading list? I mean, my personal reading list outside of running. We finished the Malcolm Gladwell book about talking to strangers. You're reading that now.
I'm reading it, haven't finished it yet.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about our personal reading list other times. And now I'm reading Deepak Chopra's Metahuman. And it's blowing my mind because you got to think on like 5 different planes of existence at the same time.
He's in between alien and human, right?
Yeah, I'm like floating around. But when it comes to running, picked up this book, Running Rewired, because as I'm getting older, I want to be able to add in more strength training, and this book was recommended for exercises and getting you to kind of run more efficiently. And it's kind of interesting because I've always been in the thing that my body would find the most efficient running style, and he talks about that in here and says your body will find an efficient running style. Is it the best style for you is the question, and he kind of calls it a plan A running and plan B running. Plan B is when you just let your body do whatever and it finds an efficient way to do it. But if you go to plan A where it's working efficiently and you train your body to run that way, he feels like you can get more out of your body. So it could be an interesting read. It could get me injured. We'll find out and go through that.
This is an anagram for running weirder.
That is good.
So
running weirder.
So maybe if you rewire yourself, you'll also run weirder.
Yeah, and then I'm really excited to dig into this guy. This is a book from Brian Metzler, who is a running shoe geek. I mean, I've run into him a couple times at like Trey, and we did the Mountain Series with Under Armour. He was there. This guy knows as much about shoes as anybody out there. Has put this book together, and it pretty much covers all the ingredients that go into a shoe and the culture behind running shoes and the science. So
that's called Kixology.
Kixology.
It seems pretty cool. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, the only thing that's a bummer is that you can't, if I would have recommended to Brian, you can't put shoes on the front because in 5 years from now or 3 years from now, this book's going to look old as shit. Yeah. But that's when he does Kixology.
Is this a carbon rocket?
Yeah.
Which nobody likes. So.
I did not like the carbon rocket.
Yeah.
I don't know that I kind of get a sense from him that he likes the Hoka shoes.
Yeah.
And he had the Speedgo.
Even On got some level in here. So
yeah. Well, I think you have to show it because it's weird. Like otherwise it'd all just look like regular shoes.
This is really like a nice little photo collage of the hot brands at the moment. You got your Nike, Hoka, On, and Ultra. Those are like the...
Yeah, well, you also think about it this way. You got the Max at top. So your speedy carbon plate. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is the top shoe. Then you got people, what they're trying to do to catch up to them.
Yeah.
Then you got, okay, we're just going to do our own weird midsole. And then you got, hey, we're going zero drop.
Yeah, it's kind
so
of
it's all the different formulas. So I really appreciate Brian sending us a copy, and I think you should pick it up too, especially if you're spending time watching us. Might as well know kind of some of the stuff that influences us when we're making our shoe reviews and shoe choices and stuff. But,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, mostly comes down to what it feels like on my foot, but it's always nice to have a little bit of science, and we're always learning. Like I think last year I was like, what's a vamp on a shoe? And I figured that out. So.
Speaking of, actually, real quick before we get to the Nike stuff, in the drop email this week, I talked about Hoka is now the sponsor of Western States Endurance Run, like the title sponsor, which isn't that crazy, but they have 36% of the runners at Western States this year ran in Hokas.
That's amazing.
24% were at Ultra, so that's half the field with just those two shoes. But it was interesting because you can go back like to 2015, 2014 and check out the shoes, and like 2014, the top two, it was still Hoka, but it was like 17%, and then I think Pearl Izumi was the number 2.
Pearl had a really good shoe,
and now there's no.
Well, no, Pearl stopped production of running shoes when they were like right up there with.
Yeah, I mean,
like
they were hot.
They're probably selling more shoes than Ultra at the time.
Yeah,
and they just decided they wanted to focus on cycling and not worry about running shoes.
And then even the same Brooks.
I should do a throwback because I've got pairs of them.
Oh yeah, we should. And Brooks was actually second place, I think. So
Yeah.
4 years ago, Brooks was second place with 20% of share. This year, like,
Yeah.
I don't even know
I mean,
where.
Cascadia for a while was the trail shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, they worked with who's the vegan trail runner? Scott Jurek.
Yeah.
They worked with him to develop the Cascadia way back. It was an old school like trail.
Yeah, that's like the all-time classic shoe.
Which is crazy because it's not even that. It's less than 10 years old, I think.
No, it's like 14, I think.
The Cascadia?
The one that we reviewed this year was like the 14 or 15.
I don't know, man. You could be right. I really feel
Check
like
me
it.
on that.
I really feel like it was like a new trail running shoe when I started running.
Check me on it.
Yeah.
Rachel,
Fact check.
Fact check that.
What year did
She's
the
not even
Brooks
listening to
Cascadia
this.
come out? All right. So, I mean, I feel like we should have a section for crybaby whiners on our site and like just post stories in the news
Yeah.
that are people complaining about stuff that isn't fair.
Like the Nike Alpha Fly, Vapor Fly.
Yeah.
Best shoe ever.
Yeah.
Fastest shoe ever.
And that records are being broken and stuff like that.
I don't know how much we should give.
2005.
Yeah. So
2005.
14. Cascadia 14.
I was running in 2005. Jeez.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know how much we
19,
should give our opinions on other people's opinions.
I mean, I will tell you this: that Megan was listening to a podcast that had both Ryan Hall and Kara Goucher on it.
What was that called again? I forget. I saw it. Someone
I don't know.
posted.
Megan, if you're watching out there, text into Rachel what the podcast name was. But the thing that we were talking about when she walked away is like, I think some runners get it and they're like, okay, like Ryan Hall, even though he's an A6 guy, he's telling the athletes he trains running the next percent because they've pretty much proven that it does shave about 3 minutes off your marathon time. So if you're gonna run, 205 and you're running the Vaporfly, you're gonna run it.
And compared to what though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Your standard
Like
shoe,
a standard racing shoe that anyone will use right now.
Anybody else has got out there right now, pretty much.
Even like Jared Ward's.
Well, we're hoping,
prototype.
but like, here's the thing: like, we don't know any stats on Jared's shoe. Jared's shoe, weight-wise, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you say it's 3% faster than?
Well, that's the thing. I guess you'd have to listen to the podcast,
Yeah.
and they tell you
Right.
what they tested it against. But the fact was that Ryan, who coaches a lot of people, was like, hey, if you can, wear this shoe. And he's an A6 guy. And Kara Goucher, on the other hand, came off as very bitter in the reviews, basically feeling like she lost her chance at the Olympics in the last run because of the Nike athletes having access to that shoe and nobody else had access to it.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really hide the fact that she's not.
But the great
very into it.
thing was the guy in the interview apparently goes, well, you have shoes that are specially built for you to accommodate your bunion. Not everybody gets that off the shelf.
Yeah, so here's kind of one of my things is everybody talks about the level playing field, and then there's the people who compare the new Nike, the Alpha Fly, to an Indy car, like a Formula One car, and like having a bigger, better engine than it did 10 years ago. And my thing is, even if you're using the Saucony prototype or the Brooks prototype or whatever, yes, it's not as good as the Nike Alpha Fly. They're proving that, but at the same time, there's somebody behind you at some point who's saying, well, they have a better advantage than me.
Well, it could be anything. You have coaches. If you're a pro athlete, you have advantage because you have access to nutritionists, coaches, gyms, workouts.
I mean, living in the
all that
United
stuff.
States or
Yeah.
Europe. Like,
So, I mean, there's all kinds of advantage. The thing that seems whiny about this is, Nike went out there, they did the work, they did the research, they did the development, they made the shoes.
and listen, if there's no rules in place, why would they not do that?
Yeah. And then on top of it, now people cry, okay, well then they went and patented it. So that other running shoes, and they said in the past, once you move to foam, EVA foam midsole, and all of them kind of copied. but you can't copy what Nike's doing because they patented it. But at the same time, look, if I'm Nike and I go after it and I put in the money for the research, for all this stuff, and putting on the marketing that they did with the Breaking 2 Challenge and all these things, I'm going to protect my efforts. And
literally any company would do that.
And I will tell you, from our standpoint for reviewing shoes, it's kind of ruined marathon training reviews. Like daily trainers are where there's like area now for like, ooh, this one's coming here, this one's good. Like I actually feel like the New Balance 1080 V10, I really was liking the Pegasus Turbo 2 this year, and that just knocked that off. So Nike and a daily trainer, you can compete against it. It's just when you get to this level where it's the marathon trainer that, look, anybody writes to me, and unless there's something wrong with their foot or they need stability, there's no reason not to be running in the very best that's out there, and that would be the next percent. So it does make reviewing shoes a little boring because it's like, what should I wear? Oh, there's one shoe out there, that's the one.
Like any marathon questions on here, you can just default to that because it's always going to
like if you say next and you name anything else, I'm going to say next percent.
Right.
Unless it's the Alpha Fly, and then I'll be like Alpha Fly. But so it's made it boring, but I just don't know, like it maybe it's because, we're in a business situation. We want to try to get an advantage anytime we can. And that's the American way.
I mean, I get why people would be a little bit off about that.
Okay. The name of the podcast was the Clean Sport Collective.
Yes. So
Rachel, you can pipe up. Megan just interrupts when she wants to. She just goes, Clean Sport Collective.
I think that was the most recent episode too on that podcast. But
maybe we put a link in the bio for that.
Okay.
So people can listen to it.
I do get why people, like if you're Kara Goucher or Sarah Hall or somebody, like it would suck to be.
Yeah, but listen to this.
I get why they're saying it.
I get it too, but you're a professional athlete, right? Like Jared Ward did a good job about talking.
I thought he did
in the post. He must have a PR background or something because he nailed the questions.
Really
I'm sure maybe Saucony did media training for him before he went to New York City Marathon, and they're like, "Hey, this is going to come up
because
here's how to talk about it."
They're asking that question to every single run.
Yeah, and here's the thing: he killed it. He did a great job, and I now that I think about it, I'm sure that Saucony had their PR team give him media training before he went in to answer the question because it was smooth as silk, smoother than his mustache,
which is
pretty smooth.
To say, pretty smooth.
And he answered the question correct. That hey, if you don't think it's fair, run harder. Like Kipchoge, without Alpha Fly, is still going to crush you. So I mean,
but I think, he also said that he also thinks things will catch up eventually.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think you're in a weird in between period right now. I mean, obviously there's going to be a ceiling to because like he said, like you can only put so much stack height before you need to widen it, and then it's going to be heavy.
But here's the thing: I was talking to Megan about it, and I was like, it's not. Like I actually think we're going to look back at these shoes because they were saying maybe we should limit the stack height as a way to control that on the Clean Sport. Maybe limit the class because then you can only get so much stuff in there.
Yeah.
But my thought is, just like computers, the technology that they're figuring out, it's going to get smaller and smaller, and soon you're going to have, something with a midsole like this that performs like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But I just think that someday we're going to look back at this time period, and it's going to look like when you look at the 70s and you see the platform shoes, the disco shoes, that, you're going to be like, hey, what was Kipchoge wearing? That was like a giant high heel behemoth, but who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, I'd like to just see if, and I get it, if you're Team Brooks or Saucony or Ultra, Kara couldn't. I mean, she's running Ultra. I don't care. They don't have a shoe that she can keep up with.
Yeah.
Those guys in, but
Escalante Racer or 4%.
And I've seen the winner of the Woodlands Marathon, female, was wearing Ultras, and I was surprised. She looked like she was in pain. But actually no, they're great shoes.
But she's probably not getting injured as much.
Yeah, she's not. But like the athletes that are running for other brands that want to wear Nike, they're just blacking them out and they're running them anyway. And
It's
you know what? Until you can come up with a shoe that can compete,
it's hard not to.
yeah, go get yourself a pair of Next Percent.
Any more questions, Rachel? Any more questions?
No, just conversational things.
Okay.
Like, do you want to hear those?
Yeah, sure. Give us some.
Throw it in.
Cody Jett said when Jordan started wearing Nikes and others were wearing Converse shoes, they had less tech. No one said ban his shoes. The other companies competed or died off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cody has a good point about that, the advancement in basketball shoes. But the difference is a little bit, Cody, that the technology in a pair of Air Jordans at the time, other than, I guess, the Air, if it had, like, you know, that wasn't patented by Nike. So you could do a shoe that could compete with them. So, like, you could get an Adidas shell top or whatever, and it would be a similar shoe.
Yeah, but what about Reebok pumps? Because when you pump those things up, you can dunk.
That's true.
Anyone could dunk.
Anyone can dunk.
So that wasn't
but
fair.
like, even on a basketball, there, like, in the 26.2, there's so much room for a slight edge to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So like a little tiny thing, if it just took a fraction of a second off every stride for 26 miles, you're talking about a big improvement. If you're looking at basketball, it's really hard to...
It's hard to quantify that in the same way, because basketball, although shoes help and will give you maybe save your legs or
stability,
not, or stability
and,
in
keep your ankles.
It's still the points come through scoring, whereas running is just your feet.
Yeah, like you can shoot a 3-pointer in Chucks.
Yeah.
Where you can't run a marathon on them. You could, but
yeah,
it'd be rough day.
You should just set it back. Everyone's running in Chucks.
That's the thing. Somebody should do a race if they want it. I think it should be. You really want it fair. All the Olympic athletes should all have a pair of Next Percent, and it should be part of the uniform. Like right now, they all wear a Nike uniform, but they get to choose their shoes based on their sponsor. Maybe it should be like, hey, this is the best shoe out there. Everybody gets a pair.
Maybe.
Everybody runs in these. If you need to sponsor, pimp your sponsor.
You know, it would be an awesome way to shut it down. I mean, obviously this wouldn't happen. It's a huge gamble. You get Kipchoge to run in like a pair of Brooks Launch and then just destroy it.
Or in Crocs.
But like just something like a basic shoe, and he still runs like 2:30.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Or I'm serious. Like right now, it's never been this way before. But maybe that's the thing. You put every athlete in the Nike Next Percent or the Alpha Fly and say, go run your fastest marathon at the Olympics. Here you go. Obviously, these sponsored athletes, you can't cry and have it both ways. Like if you're going to cry that your shoe can't compete with the Nike, and then we say, okay, we'll run in the Nike for this, you're going to cry, well, now I don't get sponsor money because they're not getting Olympic profile, advertisement. That's the other side of the argument. You hear somebody like Kara, who's sponsored by Altra, complaining about a shoe. It's like, well, you don't have to be sponsored by Altra. You could, get a job
with Nike.
Yeah, not with Nike. She was already there. But
just in general.
You don't have to be on Altra's payroll.
Yeah.
So Clinton Lochner said he noticed some critical comments on Ultra shoes. Do you think it's tough to run well or fast in Ultra? And then also, side note, Rafael Claro is saying greetings from Brazil.
Buenos.
It's not.
I know, it's Portuguese. I don't even know how to say.
We'll just stop with the
yeah.
At the Blaine.
Blaine. No, I kind of sometimes give Altra a little bit of crap, only because the marketing for me, when they say foot shape, it's not my foot shape. Like, those shoes don't fit me. So I think it's funny when you get a lot of granola people being like, it's foot shaped, it doesn't have any drop. I'm like, both those don't work for me in a shoe. So it's not, I think Altra has come a huge way from where they started to where they are now. I mean, when they came out originally, they were like clown shoes, and I got the whole thing behind it. What's his name? Golden?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a great. What they did was fantastic, and for people that it works for, it's great. But when people start, I feel like I get foot shamed sometimes.
You
When
get a
people
little,
like
you get
elite, yeah,
a little preachy.
a little
There's some
pre-
preachiness.
You're wearing shoes that are gonna hurt you because they're not foot shaped. I
Yeah.
wear Altras, and I'm like, guess what? When I put an Altra on, it feels like I got a duck flipper on. Like it's too wide on the front of my foot. I zero drop. I prefer to have a little bit of drop. I like a little bit of help with the Achilles, and they've pretty much proven that a
That
drop helps lean forward and give you more
That
feet. So
and they've proven that any other shoe looks a lot cooler.
yeah, pretty much. But
there's
I
some
actually I love my toner
Ultra has come a long way with design, and actually some of their newer designs are pretty cool.
The Torin 4 was a really good shoe, and I really like it. It won't never be my top shoe of the year just because of my personal preference in having a shoe that's a little more streamlined, and I like a little bit of drop.
But yeah, anyways, I think that's pretty much wraps up what we have for today. I think it was we had a good run with that.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
In Portuguese, it's boa tarde.
Boa tarde.
Oh, there we know. Now we know.
Not even close.
Now we're smart.
Butcher it? I don't know.
I probably did. I do like Tenecerto, so you can go over there and watch their channel, and they'll speak your language
There you go.
a little better than we will.
Also, just Jay Weingart wants a tattoo review.
Oh, you can get that.
All right.
It would be weird, but people will wonder why.
Robbie, do you have any tattoos? You
No.
got one or something, don't you?
No, don't got
I say
none.
this.
Don't got
Why don't we
none.
start a GoFundMe to get Robbie a chest tattoo?
It will not be that. I can tell you that much.
No, it could be a sailboat or something.
Sailboat on my chest.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be this?
Because you'd have to pay me more than the cost of a tattoo to get that.
Right, but it wouldn't hurt as much.
It would hurt a lot.
Yeah. I have a feeling Robbie's leaving us or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Then get the tattoo. What's the problem?
Obviously. Anyways, but thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with some cool shoes. For now, subscribe to us here. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. Graham's where it's at. And I'm telling you, our Facebook group is getting fun.
Yeah,
so join in the Believe in the Run Facebook group.
And send us your photos or stories from the New York City Marathon if you're there.
Yeah, anybody at New York City Marathon, hashtag Believe in the Run or something so that we can repost it and share it and give you credit and share the love.
All right.
Remember, no backpacks,
Yeah.
no costumes at the New York City.
All right.
It's going off now. I can continue to talk because I'm still live right now.
All right.
Robbie's going to cut it, and then it's going to be gone. I'll say bye, and it's over.